privacy, I'll keep it hush, hush. I'll stay down low for you. I like when it's just you and me, I'll keep it hush, 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 baby. I know you love
Hey guys, what's up? It's Lex.
And Courtney.
And this is The Pleasure is All Yours. We're here again this week to encourage sexual liberation in the Black and queer community. Of course, this is a space for femmes, queer, Black individuals to come and talk and share everything pleasure. But of course, to emphasize that the pleasure is...
It's all yours, baby.
Yes.
Yeah.
Today, we have a guest. Ooh, I wish we had a parent. And Alexis, we have Alexis here with us today. One of my very longtime friends.
Absolutely.
What's up, baby?
Hey, everybody.
So, how was everybody's week?
Wow.
How are you feeling?
I'm feeling really good. It's been a really interesting week, and I feel like I'm glad to top it off with having Alexis, our first guest of 2023.
No, Ghost D was here.
In January?
Yeah, Ghost D was here this year.
Oh, shit. Okay. My
yeah,
bad,
Ghost
y'all.
D has been in second season.
Oh, okay.
She was our first guest.
Well, time is only a construct, and also
Exactly.
number 2 is so fucking cool because 2 is an astro number.
Second is the best.
Yeah, you
Third is the
remember.
worst.
Y'all remember elementary school. Anyway, I don't know, bitch. I feel like I'm doing good. I feel like I'm catching my stride. I just wish I could. A lot of manifestations that I want to come true, I'm just waiting now, and that's kind of a hard part. You know, the hard part of trusting the process is the
I have
waiting.
zero patience.
Yeah, exactly. So I want everything now, and I'm just trying to learn to
We're
chill the
sick.
fuck out. Yeah, we're
That's
sick.
what that is.
Because it's really upsetting when you don't see the progress you want to see, but you know it's coming.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know. It's just a hard thing to learn. How are you?
I'm good. I have been having it's been a regular week. Nothing too crazy happened. Too crazy. But
What'd you do this weekend?
I went to this party with Red, who we all
Know and love.
Yeah.
A delicate flower.
A delicate flower, and so pretty, and looked so sexy in this dress that she wore to this party.
Yes.
But
see it.
yeah, it was great, and it was like this Afrobeats party, you know.
Oh.
But it was really fun. I thought it was funny because, you know, first 50 women that came in got a glass of champagne. And it was just so crazy that I walked up there and I'm like, wow, I just got here. I don't see 50 bitches in this room.
Yeah.
But now they're like,
Yeah.
actually, we're all out of champagne. And
Oh,
then
no.
the next few people came and they're like, oh yeah, we're out of champagne. I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
What?
I was like, but anyways, I paid for a drink. And I got a pineapple tequila with this like blue stuff in it. Really good.
Okay.
And you know, it took a little bit for the party to get going, but DJ was really, really good. Towards the end, I just thought it was funny that he had stopped the music, like completely stopped the music and was like, we're not playing no more music till everybody gets on the dance floor.
Yes.
Oh my God, not the pressure.
Yes. We love pressure.
I was like, I'm sitting on this bench on the dance floor, so I technically am already
On the dance floor.
Yeah.
Are you a
Dance.
dance on the middle of the dance floor kind
For
of bitch?
sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
For sure. I will be the first one out there.
I love it. See,
I'll go with the group.
yeah.
I'll go with the group. I'm
I'll
gonna
be the
shake my
group.
ass on one of my
Me and
friends.
you, we'll be the group.
Okay, cool. As long as you let me shake my ass on you and be off rhythm sometimes.
Absolutely.
Because I be getting nervous.
I'll guide you.
Okay, perfect. Yes. Follow the leader.
But yeah, then, you know, it was a good night. And of course, Red's a hottie. So like people,
So beautiful.
people come up
Yes.
to her, talk to her. And I get that totally. But there was one individual in particular who lingered on 3 different occasions. And we've talked about in one episode where like one of my boundaries, and I've talked about this with her as well, that one of my boundaries is I just don't want to see you picking up your hose. Like that's it. If we came together and that is the intent, is for us to come and leave together, exchange Instagram, whatever, that's cool. I had no issue with that. Yeah. But it was like, okay, first initial reaction, what's your Insta or what's your number or whatever. You exchange that, cool. Now we walk away. Then we're outside. And I hate when niggas do that thing where like, especially to queer women, and you have, and like, you know, they find either one of you attractive, they like do that thing where they put their shoulder in between you and you're in their complete back and whole energy towards the other person, even though we're clearly like arm in arm, connected. Yeah, you're doing that shit.
Yeah.
And like that shit was really pissing me off. So I was like, okay. And like in that moment, I understand there was a lot going on. We were trying to leave, but I'm like, and, you know, she was like giggling and she was like, I have to go with my friends, you know, but she's like, you know, like she's lingering. To him, yes, lingering. I'm like, okay, like if we're going, then let's go, you know, like, and then we walk and like her friend said something and she was like, well, he was really, she was like, well, I'm just being courteous, you know, girl code and stuff. And she was like, but then she was like, but he was really cute though. And I was like, I mean, then at that point, you might as well just go ahead, go get his number, go do whatever it is. You might as well at this point.
All right.
So,
but I mean, I get it. You're like so fucking irritated.
I'm like, and like I was hot, I was tired. I had expressed I was like getting uncomfortable. I was anxious. I literally was like tapping and clenching my jaw like all night.
Because of the situation?
No, just because I was anxious. Just because it's like a lot of people. I don't know anyone. Like, you know, it's like,
you don't know all the songs,
you know,
like they
I don't
do.
know exactly. So I'm literally like having a good time, like vibing, you know, her friends are cool, but it's just like, I'm still like a stranger in a foreign land, you know, and I'm just, that is anxiety inducing anyway.
And that's your one rule.
That's my that's like one of my only rules.
Talk about that.
That's like one of my only rules.
Like I just don't want to see it, especially when we're out together. You know, we're kind of having this like a little date night situation.
Not the out together,
but that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, you know,
that's what I'm saying though.
Yeah.
And like we had talked about it a few days before, and that's also what I said. And she was like, "Oh, well, I'm gonna mingle," and I'm like, "Mingling is fine." Like talking, there were plenty of people that came up to her, got her Instagram, whatever, walked away. Didn't have to say anything to me. That's fine.
Yeah,
I don't care. This one was the one that like really irritated me. And then when we like left and everything and we got back to her friend's house and I'm like trying to get out of my irritation because I'm like, I don't want to be like, I don't want to be like irritated for the rest of the night. But then we were like going to this after party and I was like, oh, is your new friend going? And she was like, yeah, probably. And I was like, and in that moment, and in my moment, I said to myself in my head, just go home. Like, just Uber to where your car is.
Intuition. And
go home. But
it's always that. It's always the
intuition.
And
I just didn't listen. I just didn't listen because she was like, well, I want you to come with me. Like, I want to dance with you, whatever. And I was like, okay, cool. I'll go. And like, we weren't even there for 5 minutes. First of all, we pulled up to the Airbnb and they got kicked out. So everybody's standing in the street.
Oh, no.
Wonderful.
And as soon as we get there, that nigga does that shoulder shit again. And then immediately was like, so what are you doing tomorrow? Like, I want to take you out. And so she's holding my hand, but I'm like, okay, if this is what's about, I'm going to take myself out of the situation. So I just was trying to walk away, but she was like trying to hold my hand. And I was like, he obviously doesn't give a shit about that, and I'm not about to piss myself off by staying within earshot of whatever, like whatever conversation y'all are gonna have. And like, I heard her say, "Well, I'm busy tomorrow," and I'm like, just say I'll text you if that would have happened even just. Within the second interaction, then I feel like that wouldn't, because then you could have just texted him when you left. Yeah. And hey, this is red, whatever. Set that shit up on your own time. I don't want to see that shit. I should have just went my ass home, and that's what I told her. And she felt bad. And now I'm standing out in the cold in a fucking halter top, freezing, feet hurting. I'm still hungry and overstimulated, and now I have a headache. And gotta walk, like, it felt like forever to her friend's car to get my comfortable shoes. Her friend wants to stay a little longer. I'm ready to go. So she's like, we're gonna Uber there. But then her friend's like, oh, don't worry about it. We're actually just gonna go. And then we drop someone else off, and then we get to the house. And I just didn't, like...
Why am I about to cry?
We talked about it briefly, but, like, I was like, I need to go to bed. I'm tired.
Yeah.
Whatever. But then this morning we were talking about it while we were laying in bed. And I was just telling her, I was like... I just don't want, that's like the only thing. That's like my only thing. And I was like, since we talked about it before, I had mentally prepared myself that I wouldn't even have to worry about that shit all night because I told you that I didn't want to see it. So I trusted that
Well,
I
she
wouldn't
would just
see
see
anything.
it, yeah.
Can I ask a question? Mm-hmm. So when you texted, when y'all were talking,
Mm-hmm. and
you were like, I don't want to see you like picking up bitches, was her response, I'm gonna mingle? I'm not asking in an accusatory way. I'm asking out of curiosity.
I don't remember if it was. I think it was before that she was saying she was going to mingle, and I was
Okay.
like,
And then
"That's
you were
fine.
like, okay, but I don't wanna
That's
see
fine.
this,
I
this,
just
and
don't."
this.
Yeah, and
Okay.
she was
She was
like,
like,
okay, babes," with like heart eyes and all that, and I was like, "Okay, cool." At that point, I'm like, "Cool. I won't even have to worry about it." Like, cool. But then I ended up having to worry about it. So that. One, I'm mentally in a situation I didn't prepare myself for, and two, now I'm also dealing with the fact that I told you I didn't want to see it, and I'm seeing it, and like I know that, and I told her I know you can't control the actions of other people, and if people want to walk up to you, that's fine, but like. It's also just setting the boundary even with someone else when they're coming up to you, and I know it's like a new situation that she's navigating through, and I get it, but I still feel the way I do.
Like there's a way to let it be known that, hey, I'm connected. Whether it doesn't have to be like this person is my partner, this person is anything, but even your friend. I just feel like when niggas get in between groups of friends and they're like putting their back, there's a way that you can be like, okay, my friend exists.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
And
she was like, well, I don't really know how to like talk to men and like how to interact with them and everything like that.
I don't know. That's
but
just
like,
common decency, but
it's just it was just really. It was just, but that was just what was irritating me. And so I was just, and she apologized to me and she said, your feeling is valid. And I told her, and I was like, well, imagine if the roles were reversed. And she was like, if the roles were reversed, I'd be fine. And I was like, so if I took you to a party with my friends and you didn't really know anyone there and you didn't know music, like you know the music we're playing, some of them, but you're not like in it. You don't know the like cultural, I'm literally, I don't know what the fuck is going on. I'm just chilling. And you'd be fine if someone walked up to me and that happened to you in those same ways. You'd be cool with that. And she was like, well, I would feel some type of way later. And I was like, and that's my point. Like, that's why I don't want to see it. Cause then now every time you check your phone, every time, like, especially within those few hours, I'm like, oh, I bet you she's texting that nigga.
Yeah.
I bet you
It's
she's
automatic.
fucking like smirking at the phone, probably texting that nigga. And I don't want my brain to be there, which is why I don't want to see it. Yeah. That's like the whole point of that boundary is I don't want to put myself there because I know I can go there. Yeah. I don't want to go there because that's unnecessary.
Yeah,
that's a lot of energy too.
Yeah,
feel that
and
way.
I don't want to put that on myself. I want to continue to like be free flowing and have fun, like how we have been doing. But like I see that shit and now I'm like, I don't want to see that shit. Damn, that's it. So that was what I did this weekend.
And I feel like that it transitions very well into the topic that we want to speak about today.
Last week,
even the topic, like last week. So I really can't wait to get into this conversation with Alexis because we'll be talking about polyamory this week. And fuck a motherfucking fun fact, bitch. The fun fact is Alexis, okay?
Hey,
so
you didn't find a fun fact.
Hey,
hello.
I need a sound that's opposite of the for Lex when this bitch be calling me the fuck out on the mic. I'm like, you can do this another time. You can talk to me about this another time. Anyway,
I appreciate the candidness.
Okay. Of course. I'm just saying, this bitch. If you're on the YouTube, you see that Alexis and Lex are cuddled up on the couch today, and I'm here on this cool new chair. So we have a different setup, and I love that. I'm feeling the energy here. I can't wait to have more guests because I'm like, I'm feeling really podcasty.
I love it.
Anyway, Alexis, why are you here? Because we're talking about polyamory. So why are you here? What's your pronouns? Give me like the lowdown. Give me like the icebreaker version of you.
Who you be?
Yeah, who are you?
The icebreaker version of me.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm Alexis.
Hey.
My pronouns are they and she. I am that bitch, and that's the icebreaker.
Okay, absolutely. Yeah. So since we're talking about polyamory, would you say you identify as somebody that's polyamorous?
Yes, I am definitely polyamorous as fuck.
Okay, and how long have you been poly?
Someone asked me this today, actually, and I was like, how long have I been poly? And honestly, like, forever. Like, my whole life.
Okay. I feel that. How did you know? I don't know. I feel like, am I getting, this is like,
You're doing great.
Okay. Yeah. I like, okay, you say all your whole life. So how did you know you were poly, and like what age do you remember being like,
I want to preface this by saying, for me, polyamory is closer to like sexuality than it is a relationship structure.
Okay.
Oh, I like that.
Meaning?
Like, I've always been very connected deeply to people, and it's been easy for me to feel that way about people. And I was in a really serious relationship at a young age. And even during that time, like, I would feel so big feelings for other people that were not my partner. And I would be so confused. It wouldn't even be on some like slick shit. I would be like, what's going on in my brain?
Yeah.
And that was like probably 15. So yeah, and just like my whole life, like it's a way of love to me, not just like how we're set up.
Yeah. Like less of a, you can only love and give this type of love to one person. Only one person is worthy of like the romantic and the sexual and the emotional.
Yes.
All of those things. You're like, that can be spread out.
Yeah. It's like, even if I chose to participate in monogamy, it wouldn't change how I receive and give love.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And like, obviously my partner and I would have boundaries or whatever, but like, that doesn't change like if I feel connected to someone or whatever. Like, I'm still, you know, I have eyes, I have
feelings,
all that, and that's real. And like, honestly, I feel like when people try to stifle that is when that shit like festers and becomes cheating and this and that and like all this bad shit that really hurts people, when we could just be honest about what's going on. And that doesn't mean everybody's polyamorous or anything like that. It's just like,
some people are just terrible.
Oh, very true.
it's just like being honest with yourself first and foremost, and then honest with the people around you that you're connected to.
Okay. Wow, I love that.
I very felt that very deeply. Thanks. That was a good one.
You're welcome.
That was a good one.
That's what I'm here for.
Yes. Okay. So as we have already said, today we are talking about polyamory and all things, most things that go into it. I'm not really going to be talking about monogamy. I will mention it very briefly, sort of in comparison or like within my own experiences within monogamy. As I'm sure probably Courtney will too. But if you didn't know, polyamory is just the philosophy and practice of loving more than one person at the same time, open and honestly. It really emphasizes the choice of having multiple partners and being able to explore the feelings and connections with those multiple people. Beautiful. I was making this outline and I was like, oh, this just is so good. To be polyamorous is to have an open, intimate, romantic, and platonic relationship with multiple people while also keeping everyone aware of what's going on. It's not like, this is my friend, you're telling your partner this is my friend, but really y'all be fucking all the time. Like, not that. This is my friend and we also be fucking sometimes. Like, that is that is open and honest, okay? That is open and honest. But monogamy is just the opposite. It is the practice of being with one person romantically, sexually. Long-term relationships, which it only is two people. Marriages, only two people. They don't do anything outside of what they do together. That is monogamy. That hometown shit, most of the time, that is monogamy.
That hometown shit.
Yeah, because you know them niggas be cheating out there. They be cheating more than anybody else.
So fucking true.
Okay. They did make a little note in the article that I read. I think it was called like off of like Be Well or something like that. And the article was written by a queer person. So I was like, that. This is good. Open relationships are often mixed in with polyamory. I know that there are some people who are polyamorous that don't like, they're like, that's not polyamory. That's not being polyamorous. That's just fucking all the people and not having consequences.
That is a true statement.
Oh, okay.
Having an open relationship?
I think that, I don't know what else you're about to say, but
oh yeah, go ahead.
I think that for me, in my experiences, the difference between being polyamorous and ethically non-monogamous is that like sexual connection or even like dates and stuff like that. But a lot of the times in an ethically non-monogamous situation, the person is not falling in love with someone else or like having a committed partnership with someone else. But like in polyamory, you'll see people have multiple partners and like, I love this person and I love this person. It's not just like sex or company or entertainment. It's like something deeper. So that's why that is
that's basically what it was gonna say. That basically was.
Oh well, there you go.
It's literally where two people have sexual freedoms and the other
actually
partners.
wrote that article.
I love it. Oh, I love it. Shit. Let me cite your ass.
Yeah, for real.
The other people, like, you have sexual freedom, but the other people don't necessarily know all about like what's going on. It's like, yeah, you just know that I'm out here connecting with whoever. So like the people on Tinder that are like, I have a boyfriend, but I want to have fun with another person. Those are like open relationships. You wouldn't really, because if you wanted to date her, she'd be like, well, I have a boyfriend.
You're right.
It wouldn't be like, oh, okay, yeah, we could totally also date each other. It wouldn't be like that.
Is that what? Maybe I'm not polyamorous. Maybe
A lot of people.
Maybe I'm ethically non-monogamous.
Yeah, a lot of people.
That would make more sense because like I keep trying to figure out how I'm going to like figure out if I'm poly, right? Because I have this partner that I really enjoy and like I give a lot of my time to them. And this week they were like, okay, I think we need to spend less time together. I think we need to see each other like once a week. And like with that time, I want you to go out and I want you to like date and like have sex with other people so that you can figure out what it is that you want, right? Yeah. But I keep thinking to myself, I'm like, I don't want to spend any time with anybody else. I want to fuck other people. Like I want to physically connect with other types of people, right? I love everything, so I want to experience everything. But I don't want to give my time or like my like a date or like anything more than really like a physical or like a friendship vibe kind of relationship. So that's not being polyamorous.
I would say no.
Okay, cool. I'm ethically non-monogamous.
Oh yes, making
right
statements.
now.
Okay.
It's been one day.
Sorry, I was just saying making.
I'm freaking out. I said it and then I was like, oh my god, does this mean I have to be it right now?
No, it literally doesn't mean anything actually.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Wonderful. Yeah, sorry.
It's whatever you feel, Court. My next point was poly individuals tend to reject the idea that, and I want to know if you are related to this because it had a segment on there about sex addiction and how like sex addicts are a lot of the times lumped in, like polyamorous people are lumped in with just being sex addicts.
I've never heard that.
No? Oh my god. Yeah, they said that. Yeah, they were saying that like they had a whole little segment on it where it's like they're only in it for the sex. Like they just want to have sex with a bunch of people, and that's all they want is just to fuck. And
I mean, there's probably a couple of bitches out there that are like that.
Absolutely, yeah.
Just like there's sex
if I was a sex addict,
monogamous.
I would say that I was polyamorous.
Absolutely,
that sounds better.
Yeah, but and then it said that people with sex addictions based on desire for multiple partners usually just find themselves in the community because like it's a lot of like-minded people who are like who like can understand that you want to have multiple partners, you know, that kind of thing. There are different types of poly relationships, and some of these I had never heard of, and I was like, wow, what an interesting term. But anyways, the first one being hierarchical, where there is a person that has a primary partner and also a secondary partner. I will say that this is my least fucking favorite form of polyamory. I really
I think that
I don't like it.
I think that hierarchical polyamory can be disgusting.
Yeah. It can be.
It's giving toxic monogamy with all of your partners.
Yeah.
Because it kind of casts aside the feelings of that third person at any time. Like,
but it doesn't have to be that way.
Yeah.
People just don't like do the work to heal from attachment and things like that. And then so it turns into something like that. But it doesn't have to be a bad thing. Like,
Yeah.
if I'm married, for example, and I spend most of my time with my married partner and we live together and all this stuff, and I have a secondary partner, that doesn't have to mean like my feelings for them are secondary. Sometimes it's just like, we only see each other on the weekends because I have kids and a life and all this stuff, and so do they. And so, but we love each other very deeply and we're connected and we're committed to each other. And like, that's my secondary partner. And like, I think that form of polyamory gets a bad rap because people aren't like treating it how it could be. Like, it could be something precious, but instead it's like, this is my main bitch and you're the side bitch. And
that's the two times, well, the one time I've experienced it, and the second time a partner has told me that is the kind of polyamory that they would like with me. It just didn't, like, experiencing it, and from a couple like that I also really had like big feelings for. Like, I really liked them. I love spending time with them. They were super creative. The only problem is that they would keep me in the fucking house all the time. Like, I'm a little fucking toy or something. And I didn't like that. Like, that was the only thing. But whenever like they were having an issue, it just was weird because I would get shut out because they were having an issue. I would get ignored for a few days because they were neither one of them would really talk to me, or they talked to me just to avoid talking to the other person, which I didn't like because that made me feel like I was in the middle of their argument and I had nothing to do with it. So like, and just feeling like you're, like I said, like just a little plaything. Like, I know some people like that feeling, like, oh yeah, you just call me when you want to play, you call me when you want to relax, you call me, like, you know, some people, but like, if you want me to be your little plaything, at least treat me, like, that's it. I like to go out, and I say that, like, I like to go out and do things with you. Like, take me out, let me dress up and get nice. Let's flirt and do some shit outside, and then we can come back and do what the fuck ever.
They were open with their family and stuff.
They were open with their family. Yeah, I like met their mom and their brother. Yeah, exactly. It's not like they have to hide. They would literally be like, "This is our girlfriend, Lex." They would literally say that. So it was like, if this is how we're doing it, then I just really wish that. Also, he was trying to manage my OnlyFans, and I sent him a bunch of footage and stuff, and he was gonna make me a thing, and he never did. And that just really, that too. It just really sucked. And then my ex saying like, oh, that is the kind of relationship I would want, is like you and me being the main, and then like us having, but the way that they would describe it just didn't sound like, it didn't sound fair, because I had been in a situation where it was like that. And the way she was describing it was exactly the way like that situation felt. And I was like, I never want someone to feel like they don't have a say-so in what's going on. And I don't want someone to feel like they don't have a place in my life, like, or like their place in my life is in jeopardy just because you and I are together, or vice. Like, I just don't want that. I don't want that. So if what you're describing to me is what you want, it just doesn't sound like it's what I want also. So
I will say that that is all very shitty. Yeah. And I'm so sorry you had to experience that. I think these are examples of like unethical hierarchy. Like, because when I'm hearing you talk about your experiences, I'm hearing like a lot of lack of communication. I'm hearing a lot of like control and ego and things like that. And like, that's what makes that shitty. Yeah. It's not like, but it didn't have to be like that way. Like, you didn't have to experience those things. So yeah, that sucks.
Yeah. And for those that don't know, a primary partner is just someone that you share a life with, that you're intertwined with. You are in a long-term relationship. You guys might have a house together, have kids, you might share finances, things like that. And your secondary partner is, like Alexis said, not your side person or your second person, just like someone you're not sharing a life and kids and family with. The next one would be one that people are pretty familiar with, because 3 is such a good number, for me at least. I love 3. Triad, or AKA throuple. This is simply one person who is dating 2 other people, or just 3 people that are all dating each other, which, like,
sounds fun.
Yeah. And I want to let you know, I really, really want to experience that. And like, a positive way, because I just feel like I would be so happy. I just feel like I would be so happy, and that's all, because that's what I want. Like, anytime I've dated a partner, that has always been the goal, is to have another person, or for me to at least have another person, and that also be okay that I have this connection with this person. But it just has never played out that way for me, which is so unfortunate. The next one would be a quad, which is just 4 people that are dating. This usually happens when 2 couples get together. But I have seen a lot of like that one episode of How to Build a Sex Room, and that there's the one girl who started the whole thing, and she started the whole, and it's like 7 people, which is a polycule.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, she started the whole thing because she was like, "Ooh, I like her, I like him too," and then
they all like each other.
Yeah, they all like each other, and I just love that. I was like, that's so cute. But then there is a full quad, which will be 4 people romantically and sexually involved, because apparently sometimes it's just like married couples and just the women are involved, or married couples and like 2 of the other ones are involved and the other ones are just really good friends or some shit like that.
I feel like those are the kinds of couples that come in a lot to Sarah's.
Yeah.
Because I see like, it'll be like, and they're usually white people in like their 40s and their 50s. But like, they're 2 older white couples, like a man and a woman and another man and a woman. And the guys are like just joking around and like giving stuff to the girls. But the girls are like very clearly connected and like wanting to do things to each other. And they want like... It's interesting, and I'm like, okay, I wonder what y'all's kids be doing in college, and y'all out here, having a good time. I think that's dope.
There was one weekend I was working, and I still wonder to this day what this couple is up to, or this quad is up to, because it was 2 married couples, 2 girls, 2 guys, and they pulled up in 2 different cars, and they came in. And I remember because one of the couples had come in just a few days earlier and got a Lush for one of them. And I remember because she was just so horny. She was just like dancing in her shoes. She was so excited to go home, And I was just so happy. And she just had such good energy. So I loved it. So when they came back, she was like, "Oh my God, I told you guys, my friend's here." And I was like, okay, yeah, I remember this bitch. And so they all come in, they're drunk from brunch, because they just came from brunch. And they were just like, yeah, we're going to get the boys one, and we're going to get my friends here one too. And I was like, okay, love it. So they got the Edges. They got 2 Edges, which is a prostate massager that you Bluetooth control or internet control. They got both of that for the guys. And then they got a panty one for the other one. And she had hers in already. And she was like, "For the last 30 minutes, everyone's just been sitting at the table just playing with my vibrator, and I'm ready to go home." And they were just in such a good mood. They were having such a good time. And like, when they were like, okay, they pulled out their phones. I helped the girls sync the guys to their phone, and the girls sync theirs to the guys' phones. And then they were like, yeah, the guys, we're going to drive around town for a while. The guys are going to get in their car, and we're going to drive around in our car, and we're just going to, and then we're going to meet back in a couple hours. And I was like, oh, this is going to be so fun. Yeah. And then creative. And then while they were checking out, they were talking about some vacation they were going on together. And I was like, I just really want that. Like, they just seem so happy and so free and so like just, and I know it's not always like that. Obviously, there's 4 people involved. That's a lot of feelings involved, but it's still like, just even having moments like that, it was just so beautiful to me. I was like, oh my God. So yeah. Oh my God.
So what kind of style did you feel like you fit into?
I don't know, because I don't like being put into any kind of box.
Naturally, yeah. So how would you describe your style then?
I definitely leaning more towards like relationship anarchy, which is like a whole nother.
No, please explain that.
Other thing, yeah.
Basically, just like anything anyone thinks a relationship is, that's not what it is.
Okay.
Like I move outside of whatever those boundaries are. Not in like an unconsensual way, but like the boundaries that society creates. Even like you reading these definitions off, like these are in a sense boundaries that someone created as they were writing this article. And so relationship anarchy for me, would be like, not necessarily the opposite of that, but like not that. Like I wouldn't like commit myself to anything because, yeah, I don't know. Like all the relationship stuff to me is like, it's all based in like ego and like dishonesty, and not even in like a negative way. It's just like how people are wired, and there's a lot of unlearning to do. And like, because of that, I'm like, nah, anything you think should be happening, we need to talk about it first and then decide that that's how we want to move.
Okay.
So it's giving everyone the space to consent to literally everything that's going on.
Okay. So like, there's a boundary, but there's no boundaries. So like, the boundary is being able to communicate your boundary.
Yes.
Okay.
And that's all. Like, and I will say this takes a lot of unlearning, and like even now in situationships I have going on, like I'm still unlearning things and being like, okay, wait, like, is this what I want, or is this what I think is expected of me because I'm in this relationship or in this connection or whatever?
In your last relationship, your last long-term relationship, and you being polyamory, or you being polyamorous, or being a relationship anarchist, what did that look like when you were seeing other partners? Like, did you, other than saying that to your long-term partner, like, hey, I'm going out with this person, did they expect anything from you in return? What were their boundaries with, the situation?
I will say that my last long-term partner, well, I guess my longest term of partner, we were not aligned in how we experienced polyamory. And to this day, they would probably say that they're ethically non-monogamous, not polyamorous. So that situation was like kind of tough to navigate, especially not knowing that's what was going on. But just basic communication, like I would let them know as soon as I knew plans. And a lot of my connections were like ethically non-monogamous vibes. Like we go on dates and we would fuck and all this stuff. But I did have a more serious connection, and even then, like we went on a trip together, and so I had to communicate that with my partner and ask them like, do you need something before I go or when I come back? And like, even that was a mess, but that's essentially how I would navigate that with a partner.
Okay, got it.
Literally just communication, like communication and honesty about how I feel, about what I'm doing, about how you feel, about what I'm doing. Being able to acknowledge like when you're feeling jealousy or control, or when like your ego is taking over your emotions, things like that. It's really just like communication.
That's one that I've been working with, and I got a really good affirmation this morning from Red, because she was like, because I was talking about how, like, because it was after we were talking, and I was like, I just hate, like, oh, she asked me a question, like, what's a feeling that you have that you are like conflicted by, or that you're confused by? And I said jealousy, and she was like, I don't think you give yourself enough credit, because even last night, even how all this has happened, like the way you communicate how you feel, how you felt, and like the way, like, if this were me, I would not have talked to you about it. She was like, I would have got really distant. It would have just not have been that way. And even on the episode where we were talking about anal and we were talking about my night that night, she was
that
like...
That one's a hard one to get through, I can imagine, for somebody that is dating you.
She said she was listening to it, and she was like, it wasn't that good. I don't think he took her to the stars or something like that. And I was like, no. I was like, and I'm talking on the pod. Like I'm talking on the pod. Like you have to remember that.
Yeah, it has to be descriptive, y'all.
Yes, it has to be descriptive. I need you to be excited and hanging on my every word.
Exactly, and we are.
Yeah, exactly.
That was a good episode.
It was a good episode.
Wow, bitch, he took you where?
Yeah.
To the stars?
Yeah. I like when Courtney's listening, because sometimes I can see in her face that she's like really listening to what I'm saying.
Oh my God, bitch.
And so I'm trying to make sure I don't forget anything.
I think I'm a freak, but whenever I talk to Lex, I'm like, not really like a freak yet.
Oh
Cause
my
like,
gosh.
I'm like, damn, bitch, I want to do that, but I'm scared.
Girl, I was scared too. I had to do it for the both of us.
That's true.
One of us
Take
has
one
to
for the
try
team.
it.
Yeah, okay, I got you.
So you know it's cool.
Yeah.
Because now you're more open to the idea now, right?
I am. I'm much more open to the idea.
Yeah, see?
But I guess next time you can give the ticket to me.
Okay,
I'll take one for the team.
Okay, got it. I got you. But there's someone that I follow on Instagram, and I share a lot of her videos on my story. And you've probably seen them. She's this white woman. She's been polyamorous like her whole life, and she
That little
really,
blonde girl, the blonde lady.
yeah, and she really. I'm trying to find her Instagram so I can plug it. Just because Chill Polyamory. She makes a lot of reels and videos that really dissect everything within polyamory, hierarchical jealousy, processing jealousy, and even when you're saying like how you went on a trip with your partner, with a different partner, she was saying like, you know, just rephrasing things, like not even asking people like, hey, can I go on this trip with my partner? Because then you're really like, it's like putting someone in control of like what you can and can't do. It's like, hey, me and my partner are planning a trip. I just wanted to see what your feelings would be if we did that. And like, she's just really also helping me unlearn a lot of things that I have. And even like how I have been processing my jealousy is because of like a lot of videos that she has put out about jealousy. Cause I'm like, yeah. And just like you were saying, like, why am I feeling jealous? Like, why does that make me feel some type of way? Like, why, like that is like the main thing I ask myself in those moments. And because I can't figure it out, it be making me even more irritated. So I'm like, why are you feeling this way? Yeah, what's the root? But I can't process it till I'm out of that mindset. So
I would like to say that I think everyone here and everyone listening should try to take the shame out of feeling jealousy.
yeah,
Because it is, I would say, I don't know what the internet says or the doctors say, but I feel like it's a very natural emotion. And like, when we beat ourselves up about it or we get frustrated with ourselves because we can't figure it out, it creates like shame in us. Yeah. And shame is not a motivator. So if you're trying to get through something, it's better and harder to be gentle with yourself and like give yourself grace, because I feel like jealousy is like a physical, it's not just a feeling, it's an emotion, and like your body reacts, and like that's a thing.
Bitch,
you gotta like sit with that and like feel that and figure out what that is. So yeah, you don't have to be frustrated.
I'd be so, because I just don't like the feeling of feeling jealous. And I was telling her this too. And I don't like who I am when I get jealous. Like I don't like that bitch. I don't like that bitch. Like, and sometimes the jealousy can come out in like a really beneficial way. Like, oh, I'm jealous. Now I'm going to do some grand gesture for you just cause. That's a great payout for me, just because I would have done something like that for you anyway, but this just pushed me to do it more. So boom, look at my cards. Now what do you think? You know? And to me, that's always a good payout anyway, just because I still got to do something fun with you and I got to see you experience something great. So to me, that's like one that I can't really be frustrated that I do, but like the physical reactions I get and like I can feel the change like in my whole energy. And I'm like, I don't want anyone standing too close to me because I know you can feel it, like just being near
like
me.
it's in your chest.
Yes. And I'm like, I'm literally trying to shake it so bad, but I just can't. So I usually just like get quiet. And I'm like, it's cool. I literally said to her, I was like, you didn't do anything wrong. We can talk about it later. So I just didn't want her to be frustrated. And I kept saying like, you don't control the actions of other people and everything like that, because you can't. But anyway, yeah, it just was like, it was just me trying to get my shit together. I don't like feeling jealous. It's not a feeling I like.
I don't think anybody likes it. It's definitely not useful.
I like it.
You like the feeling of jealousy? So do you get jealous still? Even
yes, I'm jealous as fuck.
Okay, and what does that like? Please elaborate. Why do you like it, and what does that mean for you?
I am like a data collector, just in general, like in all aspects of my life. And I was in therapy one time, and my therapist was like, jealousy is just a form of data. Like, you experience it, and then you figure out what the fuck was going on, and then now you know this is what your needs are, this is what your wants are, this is what the opposite of that is. Like you have all this data. So yes, I definitely feel jealousy. And just like Lex was saying, like I'll take a moment and like ask myself what's going on. But then when I get through it, like I'm really proud of myself, and I'm like, okay, now I know that this is something that's bothering me, or I need more affirmation in this space, or something like that. And a lot of the times, because like I was saying, jealousy, I think, is an emotion, and it's felt in your body. It's not, I guess it also is like a reaction in your brain, but like, you know, it manifests in you, and like you can't really do anything about it. So me hating jealousy is probably going to make me more jealous, or it's going to make it harder to get through it, because the whole time I'm focused on, like you were saying, like, I don't want anyone to know I'm jealous. I don't want anyone to feel this energy. I don't want to be experiencing it. But like, as we're sitting here talking about this, we all know that it's inevitable, and we're going to feel jealous. Even if you're in the healthiest, most amazing monogamous relationship, like if she get into a key with the lady at the grocery store,
and like sometimes it's like little shit that you don't even think is gonna make you jealous.
I don't even like you watching videos of like old other bitches like in my presence that I knew you liked. Like if you're going through your Snapchat memories, or you're on the phone, you're just like, if I see that shit or you like mention them, I'm just like, why are you even talking to me about them? And I get mean, and I don't like that, because then I like, it's like a reactionary thing where you're like, I'm mean, and now I'm thinking, oh God, I was just mean to them. So like now they're probably remembering how nice that other person was to them, and so now they're thinking about how I'm not as good as them even more, and that makes me even more jealous, which makes me even more mean.
It's like a cycle.
Yeah, I have to I have to talk myself through it, which my current partner is pretty good at. So you know, I can't complain, but. That's probably my worst. I'm so mean, so bitter, so quickly.
So a friend of mine was just telling me basically how like we have like jerk reactions to things. And so like as you're explaining this, it makes me think that like something has happened. Someone has hurt you, or some situation has happened, and since then, because it got you so deep, you now have this jerk reaction. So it may not even be jealousy. It may just be that you're continuing to like relive this trauma through whatever this small experience is. And like, that's just another part of collecting data about ourselves.
Wow. Yeah.
And so like, another reason why like we shouldn't beat ourselves up about these emotions, because like we can't control other people. You can't control whatever happened to you. And so now you have to learn how to like calm your nervous system and like heal yourself from whatever is like making your heart stop. Because, oh dude, skip the Snapchat too fast and you saw some booty. Like
it's not even like, it's crazy because it will not even be any naked nude, nothing sexual. It'll just be like them, like another person like playing with their cat, or I don't know, just like doing something cute with the filter. And I'm like, who is this bitch? Who did they think they were 2 years ago? Who the fuck? Get that. And why are you watching it? Like, why are you
reminiscing in my
literally
presence?
get that shit out of my
Reminisce
face.
on your own time.
And it's weird because like I also will joke around with people, not just this current partner, but like my old partners too. Like if they think like a waitress is cute, I'm like, oh yeah, go flirt with them. Like, and that really, it just doesn't bother me. I don't know why that doesn't bother me, but like, I don't know, ex people that have been close to you, or like people that are close to you now, and you start talking about them a lot, I'm like, I don't really give a fuck, to be honest. You're the only person. I'm the only person you should be talking about forever and ever.
All right.
Okay. That is that's my Scorpio tendencies. And you said you were a Capricorn stellium, correct?
Stellium is 3 placements.
Oh yeah. That's me. Triple cap.
Okay, so the data, when you kept saying like it's just a collection of data, I was like, yes, Capricorn. Love that.
I'm gonna real quick go through the other polyamorous. There were 3 other ones. A kitchen table family, which is usually like a family style.
I love that shit.
Yeah, like so the other like what I was talking about, the episode of the How to Build Sex Room where it's the polycule, they called their polycule a family because like some of them have children and they all hang out together and they spend their whole weekends together and they have a house where all of them go to stay on the weekends and enjoy family time. Wow. So there's that. There is also parallel polyamory, which is both partners having other partners, but their partners and have nothing to do with each other, and they have nothing to do with their other person's partners. Okay. So you guys are together, and then you guys also have other partners, but you don't really know, like you don't really know, you don't interact with these people as in like friends. You don't have sex with these people. It's literally, oh, this is my friend, this is my partner's partner, whatever. And then there is solo polyamory, which is like one that I also really identified with, but I think that's just because that's how I have been dating for so long, which is just a person who does not intend to merge their life or identity with their partners. Like they're not going to share a home. They're not going to move in with this person. They won't marry this person. They won't merge bank accounts with this person. And I was reading this and I was like, that sounds good. Mm-hmm. That sounds real good. We can date, but
you have your own life,
and I have mine. Yeah. Like, but you obviously are intertwined in my life in some way.
Yeah,
you know. So, yes. Okay. The next segment we're gonna get to is avoiding issues, and a lot of avoiding issues in like exploring polyamory and being polyamorous or being open or ethically non-monogamous. In any of these forms, the biggest thing you need is communication and honesty. You need trust also. Because I know that there are a lot of people that are trying to have open relationships or threesomes or whatever in hopes to fix something else, but it just doesn't. It just creates more problems. So you need trust, you need open communication. But the need for clear communication and boundaries is very important in these relationship dynamics, since all of these interpersonal relationships can make anyone feel vulnerable and exposed, because you're going to be triggered a lot, especially in like when you're first learning like how to navigate through different polyamorous relationships.
Agreed, yes.
Yeah.
It's very triggering.
Yeah. Establishing rules and boundaries. This is also very important. It helps ensure that all partners are on the same page when it comes to emotional, physical, and sexual boundaries. And establishing these rules and boundaries would look like asking your partner things like, are we sharing details about what we're doing with our other people? How much time are we committing to each other and to our other partners? What safety practices should we follow? Define what constitutes as cheating to you, which I think is so
very
huge.
Fucking important.
Because
ask this before y'all even get together.
Because I didn't know that when I say I'm going out on a date with someone or I'm going to hang out with someone and I make out with them, I didn't know that that was constituted as cheating because making out was a boundary. Or if someone leaves a mark on you and you weren't aware of that, and now your partner is like, okay,
why are you talking about my life right now?
Oh, am I? I was speaking from my.
That was like you felt. Is that what the boundary they had?
Yes.
I was like, I was speaking from experience.
No, literally, yeah. And it's hard when like you guys don't talk about those things. It gets very messy and people's feelings are hurt. And yeah, I want to comment though that all of these things that you're listing, and I think this is like what relationship anarchy means to me. All of these things that you're listing should be a given. Yeah. And like that's obvious, right? But like we don't talk about this shit, and no one taught us to talk about this shit either. Yeah. We just be like, oh, I love you, let's do it. Yeah. Yeah. But like this is all like radical consent, radical honesty, like this is what I want in my relationship, whether I'm polyamorous or monogamous. My relationship with myself, like we need to know these things. Yeah,
yeah, absolutely. I feel that for sure. The other ones would be to avoid comparisons, which I feel like is also a really huge thing. Don't just stop. Like as soon as you turn this into a competition, now I don't want to be a part of it. As soon as you turn into a competition, now I don't want to be a part of it, because now I'm going to feel like everything you're doing for me, everything you're saying to me is because you feel like you need to one up something else, or you need to make up for something you are supposedly lacking or anything like that.
One time.
Ooh.
I got a story. One time, and this was like a long time ago. But my partner had a partner, and my partner and I had sex, and then like we were still like cuddling, and they started talking about sex with their other partner, like right after, like pussy still wet, bed still soaked, and they're like, yeah, she just da 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 da, and I was like, no fucking way, and that changed a lot. Like obviously, even to this day, I'm still thinking about it. That changed a lot for us, and so like. And sometimes we don't even realize that's what we're doing. And I think that, like, in polyamory and in general, people need a lot more, like, compassion and consideration and stuff like that. But that is some crazy shit.
That would bother me, too. Like, why do you think about that?
Exactly. Like, it changed our whole... At least for me, it changed, like, our whole sexual connection.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Boundaries, bitch.
For real, though. The other one would be express your feelings and needs as you know them instead of letting them fester and become bigger problems, i.e. resentment.
Yes.
This is an issue that these all tie into the issue that cause poly relationships to fail, which is lack of communication, lack of boundaries, lack of support, lack of compassion and consideration, and honesty. Those are also all reasons that any monogamous relationship can end as well. Like, I think one thing, even, and I had to say this a lot, even my ex, like when I would describe, like you describing what being poly is to you, like really connected with me, because I would have this conversation with my ex, and that is essentially how I would describe it to her. And I just remember her being like just I don't know, it was just the way she was saying, like, I don't understand. Basically, like, she didn't get how you could have all these feelings for all these people, and basically chalking it up to it just being a sexual thing. And I'm like, that's not what I want, though. And because in my relationships, I haven't had the freedom to also like explore my connections in a romantic way. It like really, like, cause it's like, yeah, I want to have sex, obviously, but like also, to me, at this point, with the people that I want to have sex with, they usually mean something to me. So you telling me that I just want to be fucking just mean, like, you're basically reducing my relationship with this person to just the sexual, you know what I'm saying? And like, I just remember us getting in like a really big argument about my relationship with one of my really close friends, and literally them being like, well, if they're only your friend, then what is the point? Like, what is this? Like, what's the point of the sexual thing? And even me and Red had a conversation, and she sort of asked me the same thing. And I was like, it's not like a necessity. It's just the fact that you're trying to put a cap on the relationship that I can have with this person. And that, to me, and I wish I could have communicated that better at the time, because that is why I had such a guttural reaction to her being like, well, this is the kind of relationship I want you to have with this person. I didn't like that. And that's why when I was telling her, I felt like she was telling me what to do and she was taking my freedom away. She didn't like that I said that to her. She was like, you're acting like I'm telling you that you can't go out and do what you want. And I'm like, but you are telling me I can't go out and do what I want, because I'm telling you that this is what I want, and that is not something that you're okay
You're actually
with.
just saying this is what I might want sometime at some point.
Exactly.
Or did want at one point.
Exactly. So it just is like, I don't know, that is just what it makes me think of. It's just like it just makes me feel like, it just made me feel like she was putting a cap on the kinds of relationships I could have with people. And I don't like that. That's why that TikTok also really resonated with me, because I was like, yeah, if I do have a friend that I do have a different relationship with, I feel like that should be fine. And I also feel like I shouldn't have to always explain why it is that way, or why I feel most comfortable with it that way, or why, like, just, I don't feel like I should have to explain why. If it's understood between the people involved, then why does it matter that you understand why it's that way, you know? I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, I do, absolutely.
But yeah, okay, so, point, because I'm trying to stay on time. only you can decide if polyamory, ethical non-monogamy, or open relationships are right for you. I understand that it's something that a lot of people are doing because they want to see if it is like positive for them, but definitely think about what that means and assess what your own like traumas in relationship, in like romantic relationships, as well as in like friends and family relationships. Figure out figure out how you feel about those things and what it really means to be open and non-monogamous and polyamorous and all that things. And ask yourself all those questions like, am I going to share these details? How would I feel if my partner did start seriously dating someone in a similar capacity to how they date me? Because no one's going to date the same people the same way. Mm-hmm. Everybody's different because everybody has different needs. But yeah, you just have to really put your mindset in those positions. You have to think about what that would make you feel like. And if you just are interested in it as just a whole, then start off little. Start off by opening your relationship and seeing how you like, knowing that your partner is going out and doing these things. And if you're okay with that idea, if everybody's open, everybody's honest, and you want to explore like what it would be like to love someone else, or if you meet someone and you want to explore the connection or whatever, then just also be open to having that conversation with your partner at some point. Or before you even get there, we're going to go open. If I end up meeting someone and I want to move it to this, is that a possibility? Or what does that look like for you? Or what does me opening the relationship look like for you? I don't know. You just have to have really deep and like meaningful conversations and like frank conversations, just how you would when you are having sex with someone and you're like, this is what I consent to, this is what I don't consent to, this is what I like, this is what I don't like. You have frank conversations about those things.
Yes, consent is not only in the bedroom, people.
Yeah, it's like literally everywhere. And boundaries are literally just, I feel like, a form of like me telling you where my consent stops or where it starts or what the fuck ever, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Can I say like two things?
Absolutely.
Okay. Because it sounded like you were kind of talking about like tips for people who are like thinking about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I think something very crucial in polyamory is awareness and honesty with yourself. So I think if you're like unpartnered and you're considering participating in polyamory, it's really important that you decide what you want and what you're comfortable with, and like you sit with yourself and ask those questions so that you can find partners that are aligned with you. Because you're talking about your ex, and even me talking about my ex, like we might all be polyamorous in our own way, but specifically with polyamory, like alignment is important everywhere, but alignment is really important in these situations because everyone kind of experiences love and pain and all that. We all experience it differently. So knowing what you want and what you need is really important so that you can express that to someone and y'all can decide, okay, is this something we can move forward with?
I feel like me being solo poly and like that brief time when I was dating a lot of couples and figuring out like what I like and what I don't like and having multiple partners, I feel like that helped me so much, like really figure out what I wanted, even when I did find my like somewhat monogamous relationship at one point. But yeah, I don't know, like that, doing that and like as a solo poly person and just figuring it out, like being able to put the pieces together without also having to explain what I'm doing to someone was just really, really nice. Cause it's like, okay, I can date this couple and then I can also date this other person that I just met that I really enjoy, and I can let them know that I'm dating and just divide my time up. Cause that is also something you really have to do with
the time.
It's time management. That is another thing.
Do you have the time for this?
Do you have the time for this?
Which is very important.
Like the emotional energy.
Yeah. Like it's just like whenever you have friends and your friends expect to see you like every couple weeks or every week or whatever. It's the same thing. It's just a different connection. I don't want to say deeper connection because like they're like any connection can be extremely deep on different levels. So just in different connections, that is how it would be. But I think we had a question. We do got some questions for the girls.
Okay.
Our first question is for Alexis, and it is from Courtney. How long did it take you to feel compersion, and what did that look like?
And also, what is compersion? I know we talked about it last week,
Oh,
but just in case
yeah.
our listeners don't know.
Okay, so compersion is basically how you experience like feelings or connections for the people that your partner is connected to, like romantically or sexually or whatever. So that would be like, somewhere I saw one time, I don't remember what the categories are, but it split it up into 3 categories, and one was like maybe like platonic, and then one was like sexual, and one was like something else. For me, I am a compersion ass bitch, and I feel compersion in a very big way. And like the last partner I had, when we started dating, he already had 2 partners, and like just off the bat, not the partner that was white, but his other partner, just like seeing pictures of them and like hearing about their experiences and stuff like that, like it made me feel something for her. Not even like I had a crush on her.
It's like
that.
Grateful for taking care of your partner and like giving them what.
Not even that, for her as like an individual.
Okay.
Like I just like wanted to get to know her, and I wanted to connect with her, and like because I knew that we shared something, which was the love for this person. That like I don't know, like attracted me to her. And then even his other partner was white, so that was like compersion was weird there. But even then, there was like one day where I was like, you know, that would be okay. So I experience compersion in a really big way, and it's usually in all the ways, like a platonic way, a romantic way, a sexual way. Like I think like loving someone connects people. Just like bitches love God, and so they're connected in that way.
Yeah, definitely. Bitches love Beyonce.
Exactly. So we're connected in that way. And
I love that they're in the set that
Immediately
love
when I
of
thought
God and love of Beyonce. It came at the same time.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think that's so beautiful. Like that is another reason why I love polyamory. Like aside from the fact that if my partner has a partner, I have a partner, we all got partners. We're all connected. We don't have to be, you know, if that's not what everyone wants.
Like the chart from the L Word.
Yes.
You're only so far away from what is the chart? And
the chart from the L Word is like they take somebody's name and then they be like, and then she had sex with this person and this person.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh yeah, and then you basically had sex with
two
this
people
person.
or something, like 2 people away, and y'all are connected somehow.
Yeah. Okay.
And I love that. I think that's really cool. And compersion is also really cool when like everyone is experiencing it, and then like we can kind of
it's like a
together.
never ending. It's like, oh my God, oh yeah, I want to get there.
And even if the compersion is not in a romantic or sexual way, like I lived with my ex and his partner, and like we would have meals together, and we would like cook together, and like we were friends. We would like do things alone sometimes. We would have conversations alone, and like that was us being. That was an example of like our compersion.
That's interesting. So I'm just so curious, and you know, this is the questions I feel like listeners will ask too. So I'm asking for them. I'm not uneducated. How did it work when y'all lived together? Like who was sleeping with who? Did you guys have days where like, cause I watch Seeking Sister Wives on TLC. No. I know that's polygamy, and that's totally different. That's totally where the men are seeking multiple wives. The wives do not necessarily sexually connect with each other. So that's totally different. But in Seeking Sister Wives, they each had their own bedroom, and the man would cycle between the 2 bedrooms throughout the week or throughout the month. They had their schedules, and like exactly. So how did it work when you were living with your partner and his partner?
So we lived in a house, and my partner and I had our own bedrooms upstairs, and then his partner lived in the basement, and so like they had their own space. His partner also had their own partner, so she would be over sometimes, and my partner and I, like, we all had like quality time where we would like spend these certain nights together or whatever.
Time management.
Yeah, exactly. And on the nights that he had quality time with his partner, usually they would sleep together. On the nights that we had quality time, usually we would sleep together, or we wouldn't sleep together. Like, it was he was also on the relationship anarchy side too. So it was very like free. Like, we just really communicated with each other, and like outside of polyamory, I like for things to be on a schedule. So it was easy for me to be like, hey, what time works best for you and your partner to have quality time? What time works best for us? What time do you need to yourself? Like, how is that going to work? And even before I moved in, like, we had talked about all that stuff, even though it didn't work out very well. But we put a lot of effort into like making things be okay relationship wise.
I will say there's a question that someone asked me about like being poly and open and all those things, and they were like, why put yourself through, and I'm asking you this because I'll tell you my answer to it. They're like, why put yourself through having to consistently do all of those things and work through all of that all the time instead of just basically choosing the easier route? And my answer to that was because like, it's not going to be easier. Like, I'm still going to have to be doing these things just with one person. And to me, it's just really nice to be able to heal and experience the different things that trigger you through different people, because different people are going to respond to your triggers in different ways.
That data.
So it's just really nice. Even with the partner I have now, it's just really nice, like, because in ways that I react out of trauma is like completely opposite than how some people would have reacted to me, which helps me process what I'm feeling a lot easier, which makes me move forward even easier. So yeah, what would you say to someone that would say that? I think
for me, it doesn't feel like work.
Exactly.
It feels like an investment, maybe that's the word. Like, it feels good to know that someone loves me and cares about me in a specific way, that they're willing to plan a week with me and dedicate time to me.
Yeah.
That
like,
feels
you're
good to
working,
me.
you're working out your schedule just so we can see
just
each
so
other.
we can spend time together,
even though you have all these other obligations.
Exactly. Like, that intention,
Your priority.
Yeah. That feels good to me, and it doesn't feel like work. It feels good to me to put that intention into my partner or my partners or my friends. Like, that feels good, and it doesn't feel like work to me. Now, sometimes it is, but I feel like the things that feel like work, like you said, are the same things I would experience if I was in a monogamous relationship. Like, you experience jealousy, you experience. You got to figure out what cheating is. Like, all these things, you experience that in a monogamous relationship.
Yeah. I will also say that, like, I was just thinking, like, as a polyamorous person, because I'm constantly having to be so aware and communicative of what I feel and what I need, I just feel like it makes it easier for me to pick partners that are going to be good for me, because it's like, I know because I know. And if I were being monogamous, it would take me longer to know, I feel like, because I'm only devoting my intimacy, all of these things. I'm only devoting these things to
and
you.
You feel like you got to start over every single time you get a new person.
And that, to me, starting over with someone else is so scary and triggering. Because like I have like, I don't know if it's like an issue, but it's like I'm okay with it, and I said this the other day, I'm okay with being alone. I have no problem being alone. I love being by myself, okay? I don't like feeling lonely. And something that I like about having open relationships and all these things is the opportunity to never feel lonely. But even though I am okay with feeling lonely, I just don't like it. Let me fucking say that shit right now. I can be lonely. That's fine. I just don't like it. And if I can surround myself with as much love in as many forms as it comes in, whether it is platonic, romantic, sexual, all three, maybe just two. It doesn't really matter. Whatever that is, that just makes sure that I always have community around me. I always have somewhere to seek love and seek care and compassion and friendship when I need it most, which I feel like is what most people need anyway. And this whole idea that it's only going to be you your whole life, and it's only going to be you and this other person your whole life, I feel like in some ways it can be very toxic, because like they say, if it takes a village to raise a child, then why wouldn't it continue to take a village? Like, why would you lose your village just because you got older or married?
And like you say, like you're okay with being alone or whatever, but like as human beings, like that is not what we were made for.
Yeah. Like Ari Lennox said, "Oh my God, I need people."
Yes, like we are meant to connect with each other in all of these big ways. Like that's why polyamory is like, it's cool. It's like a relationship structure. It's all these things, right? But it's also like a mindset. Like it's more than just me having multiple partners or me having a crush on 5 different people. It's like we can connect in whatever way because we're human beings, and that's what we're supposed to do.
And that's all I be wanting. Damn, shit. But and it's also really crazy navigating feelings, because I really have been, and sometimes I look at her and I will just be like, ugh. She'll be like, what? And I'm like, I just really like you, and I don't know what to do with those feelings. And she was like, well, why do you have to do anything with those? She said that to me.
Better.
Yeah, she said that to me, and I was
nothing.
like, but I said I don't have to do anything with them, and that is what I'm struggling with, is because I know it's okay to have these feelings. And then in the back of my head is like, I do really like her a lot, and I guess I'm more scared of like falling, and then because of other things that are going on, and then it being like, okay, well, actually I have to get married, or actually I have to move to wherever, or actually I have to do because then the dynamic will change. And I know it's like you cross that bridge when you get there, but with big feelings, you have to consider that anyway.
And then you're investing more and more and more emotional time in between that happening, that bridge, that it's just like,
and I really enjoy spending time with her. I really like her a lot, so it just is like, I also have to pace myself. Like, I saw her a lot this past week, and I was like, she's going to be gone for a week because she's going to Morocco. And I'm like, what the fuck am I going to do for a fucking week? Like,
maybe you can tend to some of your other hoes and hedges,
I fired everyone. Everyone? Okay, there's one guy that sweeps the office when nobody's there, because that nigga be working all the time. Yeah, but that's it. He texted me in the middle of the day today. I was like, my nigga, I'm busy, and you're free. I'm pissed.
Yeah. Well, I think maybe there's a lot of options for that time, but I understand those feelings. Yeah. You spend a lot of time with somebody. Yeah. And then I get where you're coming from. You're like, where do I put these feelings? Yeah. Because this, for me, it's not simple. It's not as simple as like, you don't have to put them anywhere, because I don't know. I just keep feeling like I'm putting all my like energy, like where else can I put this energy if it's not going anywhere, you know? Like,
but that's also why I have even been like, I definitely need to like figure out getting another person that I feel romantically connected to. So I have another river to pour some of those feelings out into. Because if I'm feeling romantic and I want to do something for someone, but then it's like, okay, but I feel like because I'm feeling that way for them, then it's like, it's okay, it's fine, because I can also do this for them. And then that feeling is out. I've gotten my feeling of wanting to do a grand gesture without putting myself in that thing,
You can also just do that with your friends.
I know. Do I not? Ooh,
I don't know what the sound was, but I'm pressing it. Anyway.
There was this TikTok that I saw, and it really reminded me of Courtney, and I sent it to her, and it was the one where it was like, that was oddly positive and supporting, and it sounds shady somehow, so...
Yeah, that's usually it.
Fuck you. That's literally how
anyway, bitch.
So many of it goes.
It's been a day.
But
this was fucking fantastic.
Such a good episode.
I'm in love. Like, you're so communicative and clear, and I learned
Don't
a
let
lot
other
from this
bitches hear you
conversation.
say that.
Hey, other bitches got other things to say about it.
I don't give a
about
fuck.
this.
Okay, you explained to me exactly what I need to know about this topic, and I'm gonna take
glad.
this to heart because that is just really the vibe I'm in right now. Is figuring my shit out.
Yeah.
And I think that helps, So I hope that our audience and our listeners also got some good information about polyamory. And Alexis, you do a lot of cool shit. So tell us about it and tell us where we can find you if we wanted to follow you and ask you to do cool shit for us.
Yes. Y'all can follow me on Instagram. It is by Alexis Jade, Jayde.
We'll put it in the link in the description box.
Yes. I am an Atlanta-based photographer. I also do like creative project management, and I've been making people's dreams come true. So
Really, just that bitch.
hit
all
me
around.
up. Yeah.
That's
what I said.
That intro,
That's-
it resonates
that
with the
icebreaker.
outro.
Yeah. Love
Full
that.
circle.
Branding.
Yeah. So hit me up, y'all.
And you know where to find us, allyourpleasures_ on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Like and subscribe. If you're watching us on YouTube, where you can see Alexis' fabulous boobies because they look so
Yes,
fucking good
they
today,
do look
covered in
really good.
strawberries.
Amazing.
Juicy baby.
Yeah.
So you know where to find us, and we hope you enjoyed this episode on whatever fucking day you're listening to it. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, bitch. You know the thing. Okay. Love you.
Bye.
Bye.
Hush, hush, baby.